Hello, this is Dr. Hughes, and welcome to Public Speaking. This is a short video tutorial meant to help you get started in the course. So the first thing you should know about the course is how your grade will be determined. 30% of your grade comes from reading quizzes from the free online textbook, The Public Speaking Project. 30% of your grade is based on your oral video presentations of your speeches. 10% of your grade is you reflecting on your own performances and giving peer evaluations to your classmates. 10% is based on outlines that you prepare ahead of the speeches. 5% on critical thinking, which is a fancy way of saying that you submit a thesis statement for the speech you're planning. 15% is a final exam, which is partially composed of an oral exam or impromptu speech, if you will. There are also 10 bonus points available, which represents about 10% of the overall coursework. Other notes here that you might want to be aware of, there are 18 reading quizzes. They are based on the textbook chapters. You can take the quizzes as many times as you want and keep the highest score. Also, it's good to note that in certain categories, such as presentation, feedback, outlines, critical thinking, your grades are averaged and the lowest score is dropped. So when you look at the course in Canvas, there are many different ways to view these courses. You can look at assignments, you can look at the syllabus, you can look at modules, and modules are the way that I want you to review the course. So our class is laid out in a series of micro assignments, or mini assignments, if you will. I have come to this model because I find most students who are taking classes don't have hour upon hour upon hour to devote to the course. They want to be able to get in there, get something done, and feel that sense of accomplishment. So for example, our reading quizzes are each based on reading one textbook chapter, which should take less than an hour, and completing a reading quiz for that chapter. Usually this is based on the glossary terms for the chapter, and most people could expect to finish these quizzes in under 15 minutes. Therefore, the reading quizzes that you'd complete each week, or as your time allows, would take you about an hour for each reading module. You can work through the modules in the class at your own pace, but you should be starting work on the visual aid speech, which we call demonstration speech or the Pechakucha speech, around midterm. This is really nice for students who are taking the course and not able to devote a consistent amount of time to it from home, whether family commitments or work commitments are interfering. If you fall behind in the course, you can always catch yourself back up as you wish. It's also nice for students who perhaps have military orders and know they are going to be missing a certain amount of time in the course, because you really can work ahead at the pace that works for you. As long as you complete all of the coursework at least 1 week before the end of the term, you'll not be penalized for any late work. Now, we give a series of speeches in the class, and the first speech we give is an introductory speech. This speech is known within our course theme as the round trip to the moon, and I'll explain that more in the next tutorial. You can see here in this video I've listed prerequisites. Before you can give that speech, items that you have to complete. So the first thing before you give that speech is you'll complete a technology setup module that makes sure that you can record videos and upload videos, and I and your classmates can view those. You'll then complete an orientation model that explains how we approach public speaking in this course. You'll then have 3 reading modules, your first reading modules, the introduction module, the organizing and outlining module, and the ethics module. Once you've completed those, you are ready to begin your informative speech. The prerequisites for your informative speech are that you have completed the introductory speech and that you've also completed 3 additional modules, reading modules, supporting your ideas, intros and conclusions, and the informative speaking module. The next speech is an option. So in the class, since you can drop the lowest grade in each of the speech categories, theoretically, if you haven't missed any assignments, at this point you could decide to skip a speech. You could also decide to do both of these speeches and then drop your lowest speech grade for each of the categories of critical thinking, presentation, outline, and feedback. But at this point, most students would choose one of these speeches or the other. These speeches are both based on using visual aids. So the prerequisite is that you have completed your informative speech and the visual aid reading module. The last major speech in the class is the persuasive speech, and this is centered around solving problems. You're ready to begin your persuasive speech when you have completed your informative speech and the persuasive speaking module. Now, there are many other reading modules that are not represented here. There are 18 in total. You are required to complete 15 of those, as your lowest 3 are dropped. All other grades are average. And as a reminder, you can complete those as many times as you wish to get the highest score possible. So at this point, when you finish the persuasive speech, if you still have reading modules to complete, you would want to go ahead and do that. The final exam in our class is two-part. One is a traditional exam that you'll complete online. There's no need to travel to campus. And the other part is an oral exam that's based on an impromptu speech. There's not a midterm for our class. So that's a quick overview of how our course works. If you have any general questions, you can post them to the crowdsourced problem solving forum. If you have personal questions or issues, you can file a report under the first technology module. And I suggest now you begin the next video tutorial, which is going to explain a little bit more to you about our space theme in this course.